as it is, we are already faced with a lot of complexities in this VUCA world, right? And sometimes, I find sometimes in HR, we create our own complexity. I think very often a very simple problem where you kind of use your common sense. Okay, if you put yourself in the shoes of the employee, what is the right thing to do? Okay, but because we have inherited a whole list of policies and guidelines, and to me, I think all policies and guidelines are really, it's like playing golf. It just tells you where are the OB markers and what are some of the rules. Okay. How well you play all depends on you, and how well you play depends on whether you practice and whether you use common sense. One, I would say, golden rule of simplifying complexity is really, we want every one of our officers to have a very pleasant or delightful experience working in public service. So what does it take to make that officer a delightful one when they have an experience with HR? Rather than HR, every time ask them anything, answer is cannot. Ask them some more, well, it depends. Or, the guidelines say so, so I must follow guidelines, and so that is it. So I will always say, what does it take to be a yes? And how do we help our officers, or how do we help our employees maneuver the myriad of all the complexities in our policies that we put in place, all for good reasons? Collaboration is not one to be taken for granted. We want to make sure that there's a high level of trust, and we really operate as one public service. And our mantra was really, how do we become really a one public service with citizens at the center? And in order for my 153,000 public officers to have that mentality, I think we in HR who serve the public sector community really have to start with how do we become that one trusted HR community with every one of the 153,000 public officers at the center of all that we do. So our people practices, our policies, and so on and so forth. Not that it's going to be a one policy or peanut butter approach that cuts across all, but really, that we are structured in such a way that there is a high level of trust. And when we say run, people know where to run to, and they know how to do it. It was in the past when we used to have like monthly meetings or gatherings, we actually split up the team so people don't get together. Eventually, we kind of got people together, and in the past when we had meetings, they all come to HQ. Okay, and HQ will just download on information. Okay, these are the policy changes, go forth and implement. Eventually, we wanted to build that more shared ownership. So we had agencies who take turns to host the meetings. And when they take turns to host the meetings, they actually take about half an hour of that meeting, about 3 hours or so, to share a bit about their own agencies. It is very clear that we are not in this alone, and we are in this together, and we are here to help each other.